This is not a drill. We are tracking what could be the most devastating winter storm system to hit the United States in over 30 years. And if you live anywhere between Texas and Maine, the next 72 hours will change everything. Right now, as you are watching this, freezing rain is already beginning to fall across Interstate 35, and within the next 6 hours, major highways will become impassable. But here's what nobody else is telling you, and this is critical. Comment below right now with your city and state, and I'll give you the exact timeline for when this storm hits your area. Because the difference between being prepared and being stranded could come down to just 30 minutes. Now, before we go frame by frame through every state, let me tell you exactly what we were seeing on the radar right this second. Between Midland, Texas, Abilene, and Oklahoma City, freezing rain is starting to coat the roads. Interstate 35, Interstate 20, Interstate 40 between Amarillo and Oklahoma City is about to become a skating rink. If you are planning to drive tonight, you need to change those plans immediately. At 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, Saturday, this storm explodes. And I mean explodes. Memphis will wake up to heavy snow, Kansas City buried in white, Springfield, Oklahoma City, Bentonville, Little Rock, all getting hammered simultaneously. But here, as the twist that going to catch everyone off guard. While the north gets snow, Dallas is getting something far more dangerous. A stripe of freezing rain stretching from Midland, Texas, through Dallas over to Shreveport into Greenwood, Mississippi. This is a long-duration freezing rain event, the kind that snaps power lines and brings down 100-year-old trees. And if you are in Austin right now thinking you are safe because you are getting rain, listen to this. Some of those thunderstorms, that convective energy, is going to punch into the cold air near the surface and create thunder ice, thunder sleet, thunder freezing rain. Whatever you want to call it, it's rare, it is dangerous, and it is coming. Let me jump ahead to 2 p.m. Saturday because this is where it gets really interesting. Heavy snow moving into Nashville. Memphis is flipping from snow to sleet. Little Rock is all freezing rain. St. Louis has light snow starting. Jefferson City, same story. And up in Pikeville, Kentucky, Lexington, Louisville, the first flakes are starting to fly. Now here's the question everyone in Kentucky and Tennessee needs to ask right now. Will this be a snowstorm or an ice catastrophe? And the answer depends on something called warm air advection, which is basically a channel of warmer air that's going to push north. And here is why this matters to you. If that warm air channel stays narrow, Lexington gets 13 to 14 inches of snow and Nashville gets absolutely devastated by ice. But if that warm air pushes just 30 miles further north, Lexington only gets 6 to 9 inches, and Nashville flips to rain, avoiding the worst ice storm in decades. At 8 p.m. Saturday night, Nashville already has 3 to 5 inches of snow on the ground, but now it's changing to sleet. Within hours, freezing rain. Jackson, Memphis, Pine Bluff, El Dorado, Greenwood, Oxford, Monroe, Shreveport, Dallas, Tyler, Killeen, Austin, Kerrville, all freezing rain. Some of this might even reach Houston, Texas. At the same time, intense heavy snow from Amarillo down to Seagoville, Vernon, maybe even Wichita Falls. Oklahoma City stays all snow the entire event. Midnight Sunday morning, this is the peak. Oklahoma City and Bentonville see their heaviest snow. We're talking a foot of snow easily, possibly 15 inches. This is also when the warm air situation in Tennessee and Kentucky becomes critical. The thickness of this warm air is going to determine everything for people in Lexington, Bowling Green, Clarksville, Nashville, and everyone around them. Right now, most models show 11 inches of snow for Lexington, maybe 13 or 14 for Louisville. But I specifically think Lexington could see less, maybe just 6 to 9 inches, because if that warm air advection propagates just a little more north and west, literally 30 miles, sleet mixes in and cuts down your totals significantly. The same story applies to anyone in that transition zone. Huntington, Charleston, Clarksburg, Lebanon, Kentucky, Bowling Green, areas just south of Evansville, Cape Girardeau in Missouri, Jonesboro, Arkansas. How wide this warm nose becomes decides first how bad the ice storm is in Nashville, and second, how much snow Lexington gets. If you're a snow lover in Lexington, here's the hard truth. You should actually be hoping for less snow. Because if you get less snow in Lexington because the warm air channel is wider, that means Nashville flips to all rain. We're just 50 miles away from having all sleet in Lexington. We are that same distance away from all rain in Nashville. The current high-resolution model shows a devastating freezing rain event for Nashville, with accumulations that would cause serious, widespread power outages and very serious travel problems. But if warmer air at 34 degrees at the surface moves just a little farther west, we avoid a potentially disastrous situation in Nashville. That's what we all want. But we'd have to sacrifice snow up in Lexington. I do believe the width of this warm air could be slightly undermodeled. If it is, that's our saving grace in Nashville, and that is why you'd get less snow in Lexington. If it isn't T, then we are due for major snow in Lexington and unfortunately a very serious ice storm in Nashville. We are also talking about serious ice in Tupelo, Greenwood, Yazoo City, Vicksburg, all the way down to Natchez, Monroe, back to Shreveport. Somebody in this region is going to get over an inch of ice. When that happens, trees that have been standing for 100 years will snap. We are going to see impacts from a winter storm that we haven't seen in over 30 years in some of these places, maybe even longer in others. So if you haven't prepared yet, do it now. Comment your location below and I'll tell you exactly when to expect the worst conditions. Now, a similar warning needs to go to our friends in Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina. We expect significant icing here as well. Between ½ an inch to 3/4 of an inch of ice is possible. Some places might get even more. And here's the problem. There's more vegetation here, and there's more infrastructure intertwined with that vegetation, especially closer to the Appalachian Mountains. That makes this a bigger problem, even if less ice falls. ½ an inch of ice will cause massive power problems in Asheville, Gainesville, Greenville, Statesville, and similar areas. Make sure you are prepared for a dangerous winter storm with ice. Ice is also expected as far north as Richmond, Virginia. You could get up to ½ an inch there. Meanwhile, we're expecting heavy snow in Washington, Philadelphia, New York City, and Boston tomorrow into Sunday. Let me talk about the Northeast because this is going to be a really good snowstorm. New York City up to Boston, you are in for a major event. Boston, you are in the running for 2 feet of snow. The latest national blend of models actually shows this really well. 25.7 inches in Plymouth, 24 inches in Boston, Worcester 21 inches, Hartford 17, New York 16 inches, Philadelphia 13, Baltimore 11.9, Washington 11.2. This is on the higher end of what's possible, but it is possible. On the higher end, we are also talking about 13 to 14 inches in Cincinnati, Louisville, Evansville, and Lexington. But remember, I think this cutoff zone is underdone on this model. Lexington could be right on the edge. That means places like Lebanon, Bowling Green, and Grayson could get less snow. Clarksville, Tennessee, you are holding on to 6 inches. These models really want Clarksville to get 6 inches. I think that's going to be on the high end. If you end up with 6 inches of snow in Clarksville, you are lucky because some of that warm air might work into your area. And we are actually hoping for that because it would be better for Nashville. There is no hope for Nashville getting more than 4 inches of snow. In fact, we're going to get way more ice than anything. Memphis, 4 inches of snow is possible, but you want to see it on the ground all at one time. Same thing for Little Rock. Some of the bullseye areas where it is all snow and we don't have to worry about ice include Tulsa, where we could see 15 inches of snow, a foot of snow in Oklahoma City, a foot in Springfield and Joplin, St. Louis, 8 inches possible on the top end, 9.5 inches in Indianapolis, 11.2 in Columbus, 7.7 in Cleveland, 8.4 in Charleston, 6.3 in Richmond. Let me zoom out so you can really soak this in. On the lower end, I think at least 12 inches of snow is possible in Boston, at least 8 to 10 inches in New York, 6 to 8 inches in Washington, D.C. Our bullseye area between Evansville, Louisville, Lexington, and Cincinnati, a lot of these places will get a foot of snow even on the lower end. So the Ohio River Valley is going to be a lock for some of the greatest impacts. Another major impact area is between Oklahoma City and Bentonville and Fayetteville, where over a foot of snow is possible. But notice we have lower totals in places like Jefferson City, St. Louis, Indianapolis. It's lower in Fort Wayne because I think this model does a better job of cutting down the periphery and focusing on core areas, which is what's going to happen in reality. Now let me show you something I love, the Winter Storm Severity Index. We can talk about inches of snow, inches of ice, and wind speeds independently all day, but it gets boring and loses its effect. This index puts everything together and tells you what to expect on the ground. Impacts, not totals. Impacts. That's what matters. If you are in the red zone, Expect major impacts from this winter storm, whether from snow or ice. Major impacts means major interruptions to your daily life. If you in the orange area, we expecting moderate impacts. That's the vast majority of you. Moderate impacts can cancel school, cancel flights, that kind of thing. Major impacts, we shutting down highways. Extreme impacts highlighted in purple. This is where we could have an actual emergency on our hands. We not flying, we not driving, we might not have power, and we might not have the ability to fix it for a while. We have extreme impacts between Greenwood, Tupelo, Oxford, and Boonville. I am really concerned about our friends here. Somebody is going to end up with more than an inch of ice, and that's catastrophic because we're also going to have winds blowing. Imagine adding hundreds of pounds of ice to a big tree. That is bad enough. Now blow a gust of wind 20 to 30 miles per hour at that tree. What happens? That is what we are dealing with in this area. We also have isolated extreme impacts expected north of Atlanta near Clayton Brevard, right on the border between North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia. I expect that to potentially expand towards areas closer to Charlotte as well. Charlotte is currently expecting major impacts. Same for areas just north and west of Raleigh and into Richmond. Major impacts are expected all across southern New England into the northeast, the Interstate 95 corridor, all the way back into upstate New York, the Appalachian Mountains in Pennsylvania, the entire state of Massachusetts, and parts of southern Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont. This is all because of snow. It's going to snow heavily. It's going to snow hard. The roads are going to be a mess. This is not going to be a once-in-a-lifetime storm for the Northeast. This is a once-a-year kind of storm for people up there. We get one of these usually every year. This one's definitely not minor. It's going to be major. So get ready. Now, if you're anywhere between Washington, D.C. and Boston, let's talk about the temperatures after the storm passes. A lot of people think after this is over, we are done and don't have to worry about weather anymore. That's not true. One of the reasons this storm even exists is because we have a massive high-pressure system coming out of Canada that's pushing Arctic air way down towards the Gulf where it shouldn't be, and it's doing such a good job that it's going to stick around for a while. Our atmosphere doesn't know how to reposition itself to get the cold out in the way it normally does because this doesn't happen all the time. We're going to be stuck with this cold air for quite some time, and that's especially dangerous for our friends who are going to be without power. Tuesday morning at 7 a.m., it's not snowing anymore. The storm is done, but it's going to be 5 degrees in Florence, Alabama. Some of these places expecting extreme impacts are going to have temperatures they haven't seen in quite some time. 4 degrees in Tupelo, 7 degrees in Yazoo City, 13 in Jackson. This is an area where it doesn't usually get that cold, and this is the raw temperature, not wind chill. Add the winds, it's even colder. 11 degrees in Dallas, 13 in Oklahoma City, 1 degree in Little Rock, 0 degrees in Nashville. It's going to be colder in Nashville than it is in Great Falls, Montana, Tuesday morning. Let me say that again. Nashville will be colder than Great Falls, Montana. To put it in perspective, the cold is moving into the northeast as well, so if we lose power, it's going to be quite dangerous. Make sure you check on your neighbors, especially if they elderly. Make sure you bring your pets inside. Think about other people. This might be a good time to go talk to your neighbor before this thing starts. Form a relationship and make sure you were checking in on everybody. This has the potential to be a really life-altering storm for certain communities and certain people. Let us work together to get through this together. We will eventually come out of this pattern, but it's not looking like it is anytime soon. The Climate Prediction Center has painted a huge blue area over the southeast for the next 10 days. From the 6 to 10-day time period, we are going to be below average in New Orleans, Atlanta, the whole state of Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, up into the Interstate 95 corridor in the Mid-Atlantic. The Tennessee and Ohio valleys are included too. We're going to be stuck with cold air, and I've teased this multiple times, and maybe in tomorrow's video or early next week we'll talk about it. But there are multiple signals for another big-time snowstorm that impacts the South and parts of the East Coast right after this one. When you have this much cold air to work with, that's something you can ignore even on long-range data. I am not going to show you that right now because it will change, but it is definitely something we need to watch. Now let me break down what is happening state by state, city by city, so you know exactly what to expect where you live. And remember, comment your location below and I'll give you personalized timing. Alabama. Birmingham, you are looking at a transition from snow to freezing rain Saturday evening. Expect 2 to 4 inches of snow before the changeover, then significant ice. Huntsville, similar story but slightly more snow, 3 to 5 inches before ice. Mobile, you right on the southern edge, mostly rain but some sleet possible. Montgomery, ice is your main concern, up to half an inch. Florence and Tuscaloosa, prepare for extreme cold after the storm, temperatures in the single digits. Alaska, you are actually in better shape than the lower 48 right now. Anchorage, typical winter weather, nothing unusual. Fairbanks, cold as always, but no major storm systems. Juneau, some snow, but normal for this time of year. Arizona, Phoenix, you staying dry and mild, mid-60s. Flagstaff, you might see some light snow on the tail end of this system, 1 to 3 inches possible. Tucson, dry and pleasant, low 70s. Arkansas. Little Rock, this is a major ice event for you. Starting as snow Saturday morning, 2 to 4 inches, then transitioning to freezing rain Saturday afternoon through Sunday morning. Ice accumulations up to 3/4 of an inch. This is dangerous. Fort Smith, similar but slightly less ice, half an inch possible. Jonesboro, you are in the transition zone, could see 6 to 8 inches of snow if you stay cold, or mostly ice if warm air wins. Fayetteville, this is snow country for this storm, 8 to 12 inches possible. California, Los Angeles, sunny and 70 degrees, completely unaffected. San Francisco, some light rain possible, temperatures in the mid-50s. San Diego, clear and mild, upper 60s. Sacramento, partly cloudy, low 60s. Fresno, dry, mid-60s. Colorado. Denver, you're on the western edge of this system, light snow possible, 2 to 4 inches. Colorado Springs, similar, 1 to 3 inches. Aspen, normal mountain snow, nothing unusual. Connecticut. Hartford, major snowstorm coming, 17 inches possible on the high end, at least 10 to 12 on the low end. This hits Saturday night into Sunday. New Haven, 16 to 20 inches possible. Stamford, 15 to 18 inches. Delaware. Wilmington, 10 to 14 inches of snow. This is a significant storm for you starting Saturday evening, heaviest Sunday morning. Florida. Miami, partly cloudy and 78 degrees, completely unaffected by the winter storm. Tampa, mid-70s, some clouds but dry. Jacksonville, this is interesting. You might see some sleet mixing in Sunday morning as cold air crashes south. Orlando, upper 70s, dry. Tallahassee, rain transitioning to sleet possible. This is unusual for you. Georgia. Atlanta, this is a major ice event, starting as rain Saturday, transitioning to freezing rain Saturday night. Ice accumulations half an inch to 3/4 of an inch possible. This will cause widespread power outages. Savannah, cold rain, some sleet possible. Athens, significant ice up to half an inch. Columbus, ice and sleet, 1/4 to half inch. Macon, freezing rain, likely 1/4 inch ice. Augusta, sleet and freezing rain, dangerous conditions. Hawaii. Honolulu, you at 82 degrees and sunny, enjoying paradise while the mainland freezes. Idaho. Boise, dry and cold, upper 30s, no connection to this storm system. Illinois. Chicago, light to moderate snow, 4 to 6 inches. This hits Sunday into Monday. Springfield, 6 to 9 inches possible. Peoria, 7 to 10 inches. Rockford, 5 to 8 inches. This is a decent snowstorm, but not extreme for you. Indiana. Indianapolis, 9 to 11 inches of snow possible. This is significant. Starts Saturday night, heaviest Sunday. Fort Wayne, 7 to 9 inches. Evansville, this is the bullseye, 12 to 15 inches possible. You are in the heart of the heaviest snow. South Bend, 6 to 8 inches. Iowa. Des Moines, 4 to 7 inches of snow. Cedar Rapids, 5 to 8 inches. Davenport, 6 to 9 inches. This system clips you on the northern edge. Kansas. Wichita, 8 to 11 inches of snow. This is a major storm for you. Topeka, 9 to 12 inches. Kansas City, 10 to 14 inches possible. You are getting hammered. This starts Friday night and continues through Saturday. Kentucky, Louisville, 13 to 15 inches of snow possible on the high end, at least 10 inches on the low end. This is a major winter storm. Lexington, this is complicated. Could be 11 to 14 inches if you stay all snow, or 6 to 9 if warm air mixes in sleet. I am leaning towards the lower end. Bowling Green, you are in the transition zone, 6 to 10 inches. Paducah, 8 to 11 inches. Louisiana. New Orleans, cold rain, temperatures dropping into the 30s. Baton Rouge, rain and sleet mix possible. Shreveport, major ice event. Starting as snow Saturday morning, 1 to 3 inches, then freezing rain through Sunday. Ice accumulations 3/4 of an inch to 1 inch possible. This is extremely dangerous. Monroe, similar to Shreveport, major icing. Maine, Portland, 12 to 16 inches of snow. Bangor, 10 to 14 inches. This hits Sunday into Monday. Augusta, 11 to 15 inches. Maryland, Baltimore, 12 to 14 inches of snow. Significant storm starting Saturday evening. Annapolis, 11 to 13 inches. Frederick, 13 to 16 inches. Massachusetts. Boston, this is a major snowstorm. 20 to 25 inches possible on the high end, at least 12 to 15 on the low end. This is Sunday into Monday. Worcester, 18 to 22 inches possible. Springfield, 15 to 19 inches. This is a big one for you. Michigan. Detroit, 6 to 9 inches of snow. Grand Rapids, 7 to 10 inches. Lansing, 8 to 11 inches. This hits Sunday. Minnesota. Minneapolis, 3 to 5 inches. You are on the far northern edge. Duluth, 2 to 4 inches. St. Paul, 3 to 5 inches. Mississippi. Jackson, major ice storm. Starting as snow Saturday morning, 1 to 2 inches, then transitioning to freezing rain through Sunday morning. Ice accumulations ½ inch to 3/4 of an inch. This will cause widespread damage. Tupelo, extreme ice event. 3/4 of an inch to over 1 inch possible. This is catastrophic. Gulfport, cold rain, maybe some sleet. Hattiesburg, rain and sleet mix. Missouri. St. Louis, 8 to 10 inches of snow. Kansas City, 10 to 14 inches, you're getting hit hard. Springfield, 12 to 15 inches, this is the bullseye for you. Columbia, 9 to 12 inches. Cape Girardeau, you're in the transition zone, could be less if warm air wins. Montana. Billings, cold and dry, unaffected by this southern storm. Great Falls, actually warmer than Nashville will be Tuesday morning. That is how crazy this is. Nebraska. Omaha, 5 to 8 inches of snow. Lincoln, 6 to 9 inches. This is a decent snow for you, Saturday into Sunday. Nevada. Las Vegas, sunny and 65, completely dry. Reno, partly cloudy, mid-40s. New Hampshire. Manchester, 15 to 19 inches of snow. Concord, 16 to 20 inches. This is Sunday into Monday. Major storm, New Jersey. Newark, 14 to 17 inches. Trenton, 13 to 16 inches. Atlantic City, 12 to 15 inches. Major snowstorm, Saturday night into Sunday. New Mexico. Albuquerque, dry and mild, upper 40s. Santa Fe, partly cloudy, low 40s. New York. New York City, 15 to 18 inches of snow. This is a significant snowstorm. Saturday night into Sunday. Buffalo, 8 to 11 inches. Rochester, 9 to 12 inches. Syracuse, 10 to 13 inches. Albany, 12 to 15 inches. North Carolina. Raleigh, major ice event starting as rain Saturday, transitioning to freezing rain Saturday night into Sunday. Ice accumulations, ½ an inch possible. Charlotte, similar. Major icing expected, ½ inch to 3/4 of an inch. Asheville, significant ice, ½ an inch, very dangerous due to mountainous terrain and trees. Greensboro, ice storm, ½ an inch accumulation. Wilmington, cold rain, some sleet possible. North Dakota. Fargo, 1 to 3 inches, you were barely clipped by this. Bismarck, dry and cold. Ohio. Columbus, 11 to 13 inches of snow. Cleveland, 7 to 9 inches. Cincinnati, 13 to 15 inches. You are in the bullseye. Toledo, 6 to 8 inches. Akron, 8 to 10 inches. This is Saturday night into Sunday. Oklahoma. Oklahoma City, 12 to 15 inches of snow. This is all snow, no ice for you. Major storm starting Friday night through Sunday. Tulsa, 14 to 16 inches, possibly more. You are getting hammered. This is one of the highest totals in the nation. Oregon, Portland, light rain, mid-40s. Eugene, rain showers, upper 40s, completely unaffected by the winter storm. Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, 13 to 15 inches of snow. Pittsburgh, 10 to 13 inches. Harrisburg, 14 to 17 inches. Scranton, 12 to 15 inches. Major winter storm Saturday night into Sunday. Rhode Island. Providence, 18 to 22 inches of snow. This is a major event, Sunday into Monday, South Carolina. Columbia, freezing rain and sleet, 1/4 to ½ inch ice accumulation. Charleston, cold rain, maybe some sleet. Greenville, major ice event, ½ an inch to 3/4 of an inch possible. This is very dangerous. South Dakota. Sioux Falls, 4 to 6 inches of snow. You are on the northern fringe. Rapid City, light snow, 1 to 3 inches, Tennessee. Nashville, this is the big question mark. Could be devastating ice storm with 0 degrees temperature, or could flip to rain if warm air wins. Right now, expecting 2 to 4 inches of snow transitioning to significant ice, 1/4 inch to ½ inch, but this could change. Memphis, 4 inches of snow transitioning to sleet and freezing rain. Knoxville, ice storm, ½ an inch possible. Chattanooga, ice and sleet, 1/4 to ½ inch. Texas. Dallas, major ice event, Freezing rain Saturday afternoon through Sunday morning. Ice accumulations 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch possible. This is serious. Houston, you are on the southern edge. Sleet and freezing rain possible. This is unusual for you. Austin, rain transitioning to sleet and freezing rain Saturday night. San Antonio, cold rain, some sleet possible. El Paso, dry and mild, unaffected. Amarillo, heavy snow, 8 to 12 inches possible. Utah. Salt Lake City, dry and cold, upper 30s. Park City, light mountain snow, Vermont. Burlington, 14 to 18 inches of snow, Sunday into Monday. Montpelier, 15 to 19 inches. Virginia, Richmond, 6 to 8 inches of snow with up to 1/2 inch of ice possible. This is a mixed event. Norfolk, 4 to 6 inches with sleet. Roanoke, ice storm, 1/2 inch accumulation possible. Washington State, Seattle, light rain, upper 40s. Spokane, cold and dry, mid-30s, unaffected by the southern winter storm. West Virginia, Charleston, 8 to 10 inches of snow. Huntington, 9 to 12 inches. You are in the transition zone. Could see some sleet mixing in. Wisconsin, Milwaukee, 5 to 7 inches of snow. Madison, 6 to 8 inches. Green Bay, 4 to 6 inches, Sunday into Monday. Wyoming, Cheyenne, light snow possible, 2 to 4 inches. Jackson Hole, normal mountain snow. Washington, D.C., 11 to 13 inches of snow. This is a major snowstorm for the capital Saturday night into Sunday. That's your complete state-by-state breakdown. But here is what you need to remember. This is not just about snow totals. This is about impacts. This is about safety. This is about being prepared. If you're in the ice zones and you know who you are, Shreveport, Nashville, Memphis, Tupelo, Greenwood, Jackson, Little Rock, parts of Texas, Atlanta, the Carolinas, you need to prepare for extended power outages. Charge everything. Fill your bathtubs with water. Have food that doesn't require cooking. Have multiple ways to stay warm that don't depend on electricity. If you re in the heavy snow zones, Oklahoma City, Tulsa, the Ohio River Valley, Louisville, Cincinnati, Evansville, and the Northeast from D.C. to Boston, prepare to be stuck at home for days. Stock up now. And everybody needs to prepare for the dangerous cold that follows. This is not normal cold. This is Arctic air that's going to sit and not move. When you combine power outages with temperatures in the single digits and 0 degrees, you have a life-threatening situation. Check on your neighbors. Bring your pets inside. Make sure elderly family members have what they need. This is the time for communities to come together. Now, before I go, let me tell you about what's coming next week, because this storm, as massive as it is, might just be the opening act. We are tracking another significant winter storm signal for late next week, potentially impacting many of the same areas. With all this cold air in place, we can ignore what the models are showing. I'll have a full breakdown of that system in my next video. Make sure you resubscribed and have notifications turned on so you don't miss it. Comment below with your city and state right now, and I will give you personalized updates on timing and what to expect. Let's get through this.